Alright, timestamp April 25th, 2026. It's about 2:40 something. Up an hour and change. Trying to get my head in the game a little bit. Going over my list. Got some eggs boiling right now because, well, they're working on boiling. Probably shouldn't watch it, right? I read something about that. It's morning on the farm. Doing some freshly brewed Harry and David breakfast blend. Got a Hex. We've been together 2 or 3 years now. 3 years. He's not normally a cuddle cat, you know? He's kind of a chill cat. He slept on me last night. First time. That's actually kind of a big deal. But yeah, I went to bed with Talons of Weng-Chiang on. Woke up with Pyramid of Mars. That's a nice bookend to a night's sleep. I know Talons of Weng-Chiang gets a bad rap, but here's the thing. I don't even know the actor's name. He's an English actor, and he's playing a Chinese magician. It's Victorian. A lot of it takes place around like an old school theater where they did, the variety shows and whatnot. And I know that his portrayal is very stereotypical Chinese person. It was filmed in 1977. His performance within, we're not talking about like blackface, yellowface kind of exaggerated, like making fun of, going for a more authentic, although stereotypical role. His performance is really good. And that is one of the episodes that, if you can watch that and not fall in love with the character Leela, something's wrong with you. It's just a really great Leela episode. You know what I mean? Because so often the Doctor's companions are just there to be rescued, and that girl is not an NPC. She is a PC. You get me? You can see how incredibly competent she is. She doesn't understand the science part. I mean, just as an example, she comes across a young lady, because there's almost like a Jack the Ripper storyline going on, and it's kind of a Sherlock Holmes story, with the Doctor playing Holmes and a new character that they meet, really very much being a Dr. Watson. It really is, and he's even wearing the hat and the cloak. I mean, it's the closest thing to a Sherlock Holmes episode you're going to find in classic Doctor Who, and it's done really well. Talons of Weng-Chiang. Look it up on classic Doctor Who on YouTube. I think they have it. Leela, all on her own, because she's that girl. comes across a young lady who has been through, we'll go with scientific ways, mesmerized. And Leela does what almost anyone does, like this in front of her eyes, and under her breath says, "The spell of the shaman." She relates to the science from her own mystical background. It just... And then she takes charge in a very Leela way. But yeah, it's just man, such a good episode. And then Pyramid of Mars. If you watch the recent stuff, you know that probably Sutekh came up again. This is where it started. It's considered by most to be one of the best classic Doctor Who episodes ever. Pyramid of Mars. It'll be in the top 5 of about any Doctor Who fans' list of classic Doctor Who, along with Genesis of the Daleks and a few others, but those two are always on the list, and they deserve to be. And I have a bone to pick with Brain of Morbius the more I think about it. I love the episode. It's wonderful. It's fun to watch. Here's the thing. This is kind of a thought discussion. So, morning, Janus. Dr. Salon, I think, wants to use the Doctor's head, basically, to house the Brain of Morbius. He's trying to give Morbius, who was a Gallifreyan renegade, a new body. He's got the body all assembled, but he needs a good head. He needs a good cranium. So here's the thing. He knows what Gallifreyans, Time Lords are. He knows that the Doctor, Tom Baker, is a Time Lord. He wants to use the cranium for Morbius's brain put on new body. Wouldn't all of these actions trigger some kind of regeneration event? In some ridiculous fashion? And shouldn't he know that? And what would happen if you remove the head? Do you trigger regeneration? Does the head... what... I know in the classic Doctor Who we don't have the, like, full-on, you know, energy, light, fireworks, 4th of July kind of show going on. But, how would that work? Because there's no way to remove, you know, the cranium without killing him. How? I had a young man I used to help out at my church nursery when I was like 12, 13, 14. I've always loved little kids. Not in a weird way. There was a young man named Jonathan. He was a year and a half. And I was kind of his favorite person from a year and a half to about 2.5. And he would get very upset if I didn't hold him. I would basically, my entire Sunday morning would be me carrying him while directing traffic of others. And he had two phrases that he liked to ask, and they become staples around this household as well because, and you have to say it in the right format. You have to say it in the right tone. His two favorite things to ask slash say were how do and why do. Why do was kind of a general thought question of why are you doing this thing that you're doing? You know, he'd see a little kid like run full on into the wall, smacking their head and body against it. And he would look at me and ask, why do? Which at that moment was really in the thoughts and minds of all of us. And there was a young man named Jared that used to do that every now and then. I still don't know why. He was a strange child. Too many cartoons. Thought there would be a Jared outline in the wall where he went through it. We don't know. It's been 50 years. We still don't know. All right, 45. Yeah, 42. But anyway. The removal of the Fourth Doctor's head. To that I ask, how do? Because how do, of course, is how does that work? Show me. I need instructions, you know. We're going to bake a cake. How do? I'm going to read the box, you know. How do? I keep tossing this one around. Because I feel like things might not go the way Dr. Solon thinks they should go. Right. Now I'm going to remove the head. Oh, now he's on fire. Oh, he's a Time Lord. Now he's a 20-something blonde man. What happened? I don't know. I'm a man of deep thought. But yeah, just going over my list. Health check. I am congested, but it's morning, so it's morning in America. Don't you get me started on the current guy. I need to deal with the last bit of the dishes. I've been doing lots of dishwasher loads. And I got 2.5 boxes of spices I gotta figure out. I mean, I know how to. But it's gonna be like a 3-step thing because everything around here is. Because I need to move the debris in the middle of the garage floor so that I can move the tall brown rolling shelf forward so that I can get at the brown shelves that are on the wall to strip some area because I gotta expand the pantry area anyway. Okay, 4 steps. But it's a necessary order of events. Any one little thing we want to do around here requires like 4 extra things. The slide puzzle that it is. It's morning at Leonardo Station, right? Hear the eggs boiling now. Yeah. This is good. Yeah, the hopper in the fridge was out, so I fried up, pan fried with olive oil and garlic herb. Probably about 30 hot dogs yesterday. Yeah, yeah, that'll do. So we can graze on that for a bit, but I've got some other things that I want to cook. Picked up a bag of apple at Aldi the other day. I got some sweet potatoes over there, so I'm thinking about cutting some bits, dipping them in honey, and baking them. Do some like honey, nutmeg, some cinnamon. Yep. Put them in a pan, bake them. Nutritious treat. Try not to get overwhelmed. One brick, right? One brick. There's just so much to do. You ever been in a situation where there's so much to do that sometimes it's hard to actually get started doing one thing? I run into that every now and then. And I found that doing one thing leads to 6 things, which is good because then 1 brick or 2 bricks happen. But initially, it's like trying to start an old Chevy. Yeah. Hoping I don't get to the click-a-click. That's bad. The click-a-click. No bueno. So, working on these guys. Still got little bits here and there, but I've got a lot of the detail worked out. Mostly got good coverage. There's still a little bit of blue or white peeking out here and there, but not drastically so. So I'm going to be wrapping these guys up today during my video breaks. Still a little bit of like blue leaking through here, barely. I got some spots on the back side. Obviously that's kind of where I've been handling it, so I'll be holding it on this side and finishing up there. Get them painted and get them sealed, and then I'm off to the next component. I don't know if I'm doing the base or the seat, but I've got these paints out, so I'll probably just do the base because they're in the same Sakura. I'm really hoping that this, probably got a third of a bottle, I should be alright. I'm really hoping it's not like, hey, I can't finish that last base. That would be annoying. Because that should be, I still need to do the complete one. But I'm actually leaving this intact because that one screw basically told me no. And this will allow me also to make sure that I know exactly where I need to paint, where, like structurally it's visible. Like this piece here. Not visible. It's tucked in to the base. So that way I don't waste a lot of paint going over an area that's not actually going to be seen. So in that way, cool. But this is going to be a bit more of a challenge to paint just because mostly the seat area, where the seat tucks into the back. Because I want to try and be thorough, but I also don't want to make it sloppy. Like down the side. Because you can kind of see. So try and like drip extra blue and then drip extra pink down the side. Eh? Is it perfect? No. As situations go, it is not perfect. But I can probably make it work. I am worried that my pink might run out on this though. My Sakura. I don't even know if I'm actually pronouncing it right. I don't know if it's Sakura or Sakura. Or Sakura. Sakura? Wasn't she a singer? I'm kidding. I know that one. I'm 55, but I'm not dead. I know that. Yeah, Sakura. It's just not a term, word that I'm familiar with. I'm more a Crayola guy. To me, that's like bubblegum pink. Maybe cotton candy. Oh yeah. I'm still not sponsored. Harry and David. No fee is too small. But yeah, at some point I want to work on the stool tops too. Because I've got 4 stools, but I've only got 2 of them actually in operation because I was in the middle of doing stuff on the other 2 stool tops. I need more projects. Those I'm going to be working on outside. They're actually on the lanai, on top debris piles. So I'm kind of waiting for sunlight to be able to do that. And actually, what is the weather looking like today? Because we've had little bouts of sprinklage here and there. And I don't know. It's that whole spring heading towards summer thing. Starts getting a little bit more wet. Florida. Not AI, by the way. Ooh, it's in the 60s outside. Which works because the country's heading straight for the 50s. Which my circle of friends looks like a UN summit. I don't like this idea. I'm a German American white dude that actually looks Spanish, so every now and then I may get harassed. It's not even a personal thing. I've got a lot of friends that are somewhere on the rainbow. Some of the crap that's going on right now, not okay. I am a straight white male, and I'm also very much an ally. Yeah, I'm not seeing any moisty. I ain't. Cool. My potatoes are getting big too. The plants are getting. So I'm gonna have to wet those down. If it's not going to do it naturally. Yeah. Working on it, right? But yeah, no, being in Florida and I am dark hair, dark eyes, kind of olive, which isn't because of like Spanish heritage. I'm actually part Czech, which apparently that lends to a little bit more olive skin tone here and there. That's what I've been told. But people frequently think that I'm either Puerto Rican or Cubano, which, okay, cool. I only really know the bad words, but, I've had 3 girlfriends from 2 Puerto Rican, 1 Cuban, from New York. Um, yeah, 2 from Queens, 1 from Brooklyn. So I know all the dirty words. I know all of them. And I even know like context, when you use certain ones, because, just like in English, there are certain times that certain words are appropriate, not appropriate, better choices, I know those. Yeah, I can count to 10, you know. And I did, going to a religious school, I do have a pretty good foundation in like Latin, a lot of Latin roots and whatnot, English major. So if I see it in print, I can sometimes decipher it and come close to what we're looking at, you know. But yeah, no, I don't speak Spanish. I wish I did, because it would be real handy down here. And I know I get talked around a lot, you know. When you're the only like white dude in the room, and you hear word, Marcus, word, Marcus. It's like, would anyone like to share? Oh no, we're just talking about something we saw on TV. I heard my name, right? No, you don't realize that? Because the name, it's Markus, but when you say it, it's the same. It's the same in English as it is in Spanish. You know that, right? I mean, it's my name is the same word in both languages, so to speak. You're sticking with something we saw on TV. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stand here, and I'm gonna not be insecure. Cool. We all good with this? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. On TV. Okay. It's been known to happen. Come on. At least use like phrases like that white guy, or the confused person in the room. Use phraseology like that, because that I'm not going to understand. I don't know what's going on at that point. Local, I might think when you're talking about me. I say the word loco, and one of my kids appears. Loco. Didn't work that time. Yeah, the dirty words, very specific times and places where those are the right things to say. General everyday conversation, they're not gonna, those won't save me. They may initiate things for really bad or really good, um, depending on your viewpoint. You know, same. Yeah. Still not AI. Can you believe it? I keep trying. Oh, yeah, AI. You're real. I'm seeing so much AI slop on YouTube. It's not even. It's blowing my mind. Some of it looks really good too. Some of it looks really, really good. Like, those moments when you have to stop and go, am I looking at a real person or am I not looking at a real person? Shit, I don't even know. You look a lot like. There's all kinds of ones out there. I've seen some commercials lately where, like, Hollywood celebrities are doing um, almost like pressers, like they're confessing that they have dementia, but they found a new drug, a new product that has been helping them with their symptoms and even get better and recover. I mean, like Meryl Streep, Judi Dench, like, it's like, it's complete BS. And I'm like, my God, you look just like her. You sound just like, oh, now I understand why Hollywood's worried about you. Not Judi Dench, like AI. Just because, holy shit. I really thought this was like a real thing until you started going into, the dementia spiel. But I saw you on Colbert like a month ago. You're fine. You're fine. This video was made in a laboratory. Holy cats. Wow. Yeah, so be careful what you're watching. There's fact, there's fiction. But yeah, no, I'm wonderfully, painfully real. All my flaws. I say all, which, usually means like 3 or more. I've only got like 1 or 2, keeping it real. But I like to say all my flaws because when people realize how perfect I am, they start feeling really insecure, and then it just gets awkward. And I don't like, awkward can be funny as hell, but I don't want my everyday conversations to be awkward. I want it to be, smooth, congenial. Yeah, that's really good. Harry, David. I always have flashbacks to that. It was an Animaniacs episode where they were making fun of, it was like a cereal commercial. And they were shilling for it. And like, Skippy, Squirrel, Slappy's nephew, mentions the cereal, you know, and like bag of like gold coins and cash gets thrust into his hand, like ching. My brain, my brain works weird. I know that. Yeah. Harry and David coffee. Cha-ching. Just hook me up with free coffee. I mean, you can cut me a check too. That's fine. It's fine. You don't have to like hold back on that kind of thing. But just keep shipping me a couple free cases of coffee. A week. It's fine. It's fine. 'Cause I honestly, I couldn't. I don't think I could. I don't think I could shill. I know I couldn't shill for a product that I didn't actually like, believe in. And I don't even know what their company is like. I don't know. There are certain brands that I'm not necessarily a fan of just because of their policy. I love Chick-fil-A food. I won't I won't give them patronage. Hobby Lobby, never walked into one. Won't. Heard about kind of how they operate? Nope. Nope. You wouldn't like me and my viewpoint, so you don't need my dollars. You know what I mean? I'll get my crafty stuff elsewhere. If you're allowed to choose, so am I. It's pretty simple, right? You know, I have no idea what their Harry and David's policies are, but I like their products a lot. I do. I like their products a lot. They make good coffee. Still not a paid advertisement. But it could be. That's stuff. Okay, okay. Those iBots. Very critical. Alright, I'm gonna get started on my day. And I don't have fleas. I don't wanna, but I need to. There are days one brick is heavier than others. It's just the truth. Morning. Alright. You know the gist. Hug your parents. Hug your kids. Make it a great day.